Hello, I am Dr. Bhavna Tandon, Associate Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department of Chandigarh Engineering College, Mohali. Today, I am going to talk about the most talked term in nowadays, that is automation. Now, what does exactly automation means? Automation word derives from two Greek words. Auto means self and matos means moving. So we can define automation as the technology by which a process or procedure is accomplished without any human assistance or intervention. With the rapid advancements in the technology, the industries are moving from the mechanization era to the automation era. What is mechanization? Mechanization involves the human intervention or assistance to control the manually operated devices. But automation does not involve any human intervention or assistance. Rather, it uses high capability control devices for efficient manufacturing or production. Now, automation is a step beyond the mechanization. Automation systems provide superior performance in terms of precision, power and speed of operation as compared to any manual system. In automation system, the process variables like temperature, pressure, level, they are acquired, processed and controlled by complex microprocessor systems or CPU based data processing controllers. That's why we can say control system is an essential part of any automation system. This beautiful picture in the slide shows a fully automated unit of a car manufacturing company. Automation typically includes the use of programmable logic controllers, that is PLCs, sensors or sensing devices that converts the physical variable into electrical signals. Sensors may include ultrasonic sensors, gas sensors, accelerometers, IR transmitter, LM35 temperature sensors, LDR, thermistor, potentiometer. A wide range is there. Robots and actuators. Actuators convert the electrical signal back into physical action. Motors, valves, solenoid, these are the examples of actuators. In the next few slides, we are going to discuss about industrial automation. But because whenever we talk about automation, the first word that comes in our mind in relation to automation is industries. So we defined here the industrial automation as the use of computerized and robotics devices to complete the manufacturing tasks. This is the block diagram of industrial automation, which has plant, the field instrument, which includes the sensors and the actuators, the control system, both type, hardware as well as software. So these are some of the examples of the industrial automation system. The first slide that shows the example is in the packaging industry. This is the fully automated packaging example. This is the automated soldering and brazing machine. This is the automated bottle filling and capping unit. And this is the car painting unit in any car manufacturing industry. So now I am going to play a small video that will show you the levels of automation system. This video I have taken from the motion control that will explain the 4 levels of automation system: partial, semi, full and high. The first level of automation system is partial automation system. See here, the worker loads the part of operation, robot performs the assembly process and the part is manually unloaded. So the worker is here only to load and unload the parts. The assembly process is performed by the robot. So it's a partial automation example. The second level of automation system is semi-automated system. See the video. In this example, the pallets are placed and removed manually. The palletizing and case packing are all automated. So this is the example of semi-automated system. The third level of automation, full automated system. This bag palletizing operation is fully automated with an in-feed conveyor, pallet placement, bag stacking, and then the pallet is conveyed out of the operation for manual removal. The fourth and the last level of automation system is highly automated system. See the video. The highly automated systems require little to no human intervention. The system has automated pallet placement. So this is the example of the highly automated system. These are the 4 levels of automation systems. Now the next question that came into our mind is what are the tools that are used in automation system. The different tools are programmable logic controllers, that is PLCs, supervisory control and data acquisition system, that is SCADA, human machine interface, that is HMI or maybe known as touch screen, and last is the variable frequency drive, that is VFD. Now I am going to explain all these tools of automation one by one. Let's start with the PLC. Now what is PLC? PLC is a rugged industrial computer that is designed for the harsh environment of industries for the purpose of controlling. PLCs came into action with the replacement of relays or the hardwired logic. Now why PLC replaces the hardwired logic, that we will discuss in the next slide. So PLC is also known as the workhorse of industrial automation. This is the main PLC system, the block diagram. The main block of the PLC system is the CPU, that is the central processing unit, which further comprises of power supply, processor, memory may be RAM, ROM or EEPROM. The second part is the input interface that connects the input devices like push button switches, pressure switch, liquid level switch, limit switches with the CPU. The third part is the output interface that connects the solenoid, motor, pilot light, siren like output devices to the CPU, and the last part is the programmer or the monitor. In order to program a PLC, we can use a simple computer or a laptop on which the application is running. So PLC is an industrial computer, hardware and software adapted to the industrial environment and electrical technician. It is known as the workhorse of industrial automation. PLC's production processes go through a fixed repetitive sequence of operation with logical steps that are very easy to understand. Electronic relays were used prior to PLCs. Now we discuss the advantages of PLCs over the hardwired logic or the relays. The control systems were hardwired using relays, timers and logical units before the using the PLCs. The control system had to be rewired for new applications. Flexible and time consuming processes resulted in product delays and high production costs. So these are the disadvantages of hardwired logic. These are the disadvantages why we use PLCs over the relays. The main disadvantage of the relays is also that relays fail very frequently and it releases a lot of heat and soot. Also it consumes a lot of space as compared to the PLC system, as it is clearly shown in the picture here. The relay system consumes a lot of space and PLC systems are compact as compared to the relay systems. Now this is the basic PLC architecture. Basic PLC architecture, again the first part is the processor, which comprises of the central processing unit and the memory. All these parts of the PLC architecture, they are connected or communicate with each other with the use of buses. there are 4 types of buses that are used in PLC architecture: control bus, address bus, data bus, and system bus. Programming device, as I have already told you, the programming device, we can use a simple laptop or a PC for programming the PLC. The PLC is compatible with the discrete I/O devices, that means the on-off devices, analog or continuous I/O devices, or some special I/O devices like motion control or numerical type. Now, what is the difference between PLCs computers? Although the architecture of PLC is basically same as that of general purpose computer, why can't we use computers in the industries? Why? Because PLCs, they are compatible with the industrial environment. They can be placed in areas with substantial amount of electromagnetic interference, electrical noise, mechanical vibration, extreme temperatures up to 140 Fahrenheit, non-condensing humidity. PLCs have high degree of reliability as compared to computers. PLCs can build to run continuously for years. They can be easily maintained by the plant technicians because they are programmed with a very simple and easy to understand language, that is the ladder logic. PLCs recovers quickly from the power failure because no boot up procedure is required to reconfigure the PLC. Now we come to the types of PLCs. 3 types of PLCs are there: compact PLC, modular PLC, and rack PLC. Now what is compact PLC? Compact PLC don't have the capability to extend its modules because it has fixed number of input-output modules. But modular PLC has the capability to extend its modules. As we can see in the picture, the individual cards may be removed and replaced. The modular PLC contains the power supply module, the processor, and input-output modules that are plugged into a same rack. This is the most common type of PLCs that are used in industries nowadays. The last one is the rack PLC. In rack PLCs, different parts are assembled in a unit and it is placed or mounted onto a rack. Rack PLC can accommodate thousands of input-output modules. Now the programming languages of PLC. Most common languages that are encountered in PLC programming are ladder language, functional block diagram, sequential function chart, and Boolean mnemonics. Ladder language is the oldest and the most simplest type of programming language that is used to program a PLC. It is well suited to express any combinational logic. The ladder symbols they are most commonly used is make contact, break contact, and relay coil. This is ladder logic for basic gates and OR. These are the truth tables for and OR gates. When we talk about AND gate, the output Y will be on whenever both the inputs A and B will be on. So this is the ladder logic for AND gate. Whenever both the switches are on, then only the relay will be energized. But in OR gate, if either of the inputs is on, the output will be on. So we take the switches in parallel. When one of these switch will be on, the relay coil will be energized. Benefits of PLC: high speed data transfer, saves the installation cost by less space, increased reliability, flexibility, and accuracy, easier to troubleshoot, handles much more complicated systems, communication capability, remote control capability. These all are the advantages or benefits of PLCs. Various brands of PLCs are available: Allen Bradley from USA, Siemens from Germany, Modicon from France, Mitsubishi from Japan, GE Fanuc from USA, and Omron from Japan. The second part of an automation system is supervisory control and data acquisition, that is SCADA. Now, as the name suggests, supervisory control and data acquisition, it must be something that is used to supervise or monitor and control the processes in the industries. Before SCADA came into picture, the personnel were used to monitor and control the processes in the industries using the switches, push buttons, or the dial in case of analog inputs. So when SCADA came before SCADA, the relays and the timers were also used to assist, to supervise and to monitor and to control the processes. But SCADA is a collection of software and hardware components that allow the supervision and control of plants both locally and remotely. SCADA examines, collects and processes the data in real time also. SCADA system is a combination of many systems including sensors, RTUs stand for remote terminal units, HMIs, human machine interface, and PLCs. So this is the block diagram of a SCADA system. SCADA system includes the PLCs, the HMIs and the database. So SCADA is nothing but a big database that is used to store and control your operations in whole. Features of SCADA: dynamic process graphics, trend, alarms, database connectivity, report generation, security, script, networking, device connectivity. Some SCADA softwares: RSView 32 by Allen Bradley, WinCC by Siemens, Cytec by Modicon, Simplicity by GE Fanuc and InTouch by Wonderware. So this picture shows the placement of all automation system components. How all automation system components like SCADA, HMI and PLCs are placed. The SCADA and HMI, they are placed in the control room building, and in the plant we can see here the industrial equipments and the PLCs. The SCADA communicate with the PLCs and the remote transmission units through connectivity. Now what is HMI? Human machine interface. A human machine interface is an interface which permits the interaction between a human being and a machine. HMIs can be used to visually display the data, track production time, trends and tags, monitor the machine inputs and outputs. With the help of HMI, a user can visualize its information in the form of charts, graphs, can view or manage the alarms, it can communicate with the SCADA all in one console. Now HMI as a part of SCADA. This picture I have taken from real parts which shows HMI as an important part of SCADA. This is the whole SCADA system. This is the RTU, that is the remote terminal unit. This is the PLC, programmable logic controller. Each RTU and PLC are having its own HMIs. And in addition to that, the SCADA has a complete and big HMI that is placed in the control unit. Now the last part of automation system is VFD. Now what is VFD? VFD stands for variable frequency drive. VFD is a motor controller that is used to drive the motor by varying its voltage and frequency. If in any application we want the motor not to run on its full speed, then it can be ramped out by using this VFD by changing the voltage and the frequency to make it compatible with the motor load. So VFD are used to run the motors of single phase or three phase supply. It is used to accelerate and deaccelerate the speed of motor within a particular time. Drive commands are start, stop, speed reference, acceleration, deacceleration. This is all from the automation. Thank you so much.